This is an R Media podcast.
This episode is brought to you by F5 Collective.
Marie Claire presents You're Gonna Want to Hear This.
I said to my husband, I went, babe, do you think that people are probably going to look at this one and there's going to be quite a lot of comments where people say, you look too good, Celeste? And my husband went, no.
You're like, thanks, babe.
The mood board of the shoot that we did, I sent it to him and I felt pretty amazing. And he wrote back and went, you look really cool. Like, cool? Cool's not what I'm after. I'm after, you look exactly like Cindy. She needs to look out for her job, like all of that.
Most women try to hide their flaws and you actually bring that to the forefront. Like, what gave you the confidence to do that? You actually have a really good body and people don't know that.
Cindy Crawford?
What
are you talking about? Because that's what it's all about for me is the women that get kicked out of things.
I mean, I'll be 60 in February and I think I don't want to be 20.
No, he said, I always knew you had it in you, but I have just seen you absolutely step into your power. And I was like, and then I remember going back to the hotel after and just crying in the shower because I was like, I just nailed everything. It was crazy.
Hello and welcome to You're Gonna Want to Hear This, a brand new podcast from Marie Claire where fun and frankness is always in style. I'm Georgie McCourt, editor of Marie Claire, and I have been waiting so patiently, I can't tell you how patient I've been to share this interview with you. We knew from day one that we wanted actor, comedian and entrepreneur Celeste Barber on the cover of our September issue. It was our big 30th birthday anniversary issue and we wanted to do something really, really special. And yes, by the way, we are 30, flirty and thriving. Of course, Celeste Barber was our first choice. She's fierce, funny, feminist, and completely fabulous. So for the cover shoot, we reimagined 5 iconic fashion moments, including that Versace supermodel runway with Celeste in full parody mode. She does parody like no one else. I'm going to link the cover shoot in the show notes. It is utterly brilliant. Then when we were thinking about who would interview Celeste for the cover story, we decided to pair her with supermodel and friend Cindy Crawford. And you're going to hear that conversation today. I remember waking up in the morning and logging onto the Zoom and seeing Cindy in the waiting room. It definitely wasn't your average morning, and my boyfriend was obviously delighted with my Zoom guest for that day. Cindy was at home in her very glamorous lake house in Canada, looking utterly beautiful. Celeste then logged on and I left them to it. It was a pinching moment, and as you're about to hear, they honestly sound like two girlfriends chatting very openly about life, love, longevity. And for me, that's one of the things I think I love most about being a woman, that when you find a kindred spirit, you can just put it all on the table and connect. Okay, over to Cindy and Celeste.
The first time we met was when you came to LA, right? And you were doing your podcast.
I did a podcast, yeah, and you so kindly came on the podcast. Thomas and I still can't believe that you came up. We were in the shittiest studio, I remember we got there about an hour before you, and we walked in and we're like, this is not amazing for Cindy Crawford. We're going to have to talk about, and all our producers were like, who cares? We're getting Cindy. And then we made you drink warm tequila. Do you remember that?
I do. And I remember Hot Husband was there.
That photo?
I don't really know. Tell me a little bit about what you were doing before that. Were you doing stand-up? Were you writing? What were you doing before, the world discovered you?
Well, I'm an actor. I'm a trained actor. So that's what I was doing. Well, trying to get work as an actor. I worked a lot straight out of acting school, out of uni, and then had children. So needed, have a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was writing. I wasn't really doing stand-up. I'm like I say, I'm an actor by trade. Give me a call sheet and a script and I will turn up to set. That's my favorite thing. But then when Instagram kicked off, my following for, 10 years ago grew pretty quickly. And I thought, there's something here. I know there's something here to help me do what I want to do. There was no interest, and there's still no interest in fame or anything like that. Success to me is working. So I remember I posted and I got 50,000 followers overnight, which back then is a lot. And I was like, I want to do something with this. So I booked a theatre 3 months out from that date. I thought, I'm just going to write a one-woman show and I'm just going to get that up. And and, do it and see how it goes. And that went really well. So that's kind of what got me into stand up. Like, I'm not a traditional, I'm not, you talk to Schumer and she's like, I've been playing clubs for 15 years at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, I haven't. That's not me. I don't do that. I kind of write one woman shows as opposed to
Right.
just, joke, 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 joke. Yeah, I was doing that. And then, the touring kicked off. And I guess now people see me as a comedian, which is fantastic. But yeah, the acting is the love of it all.
Right.
And
So you even approach like your one woman show or being on stage less as a comedian, but as an actress.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's hard to, I did Montreal with Chelsea, and they just wanted 15 minutes, and I was in the middle of my last tour. And for me, that's hard to pull out of my show. It's hard to just kind of get a quick 5 minutes or a quick, because it's storytelling. I mean, it's very funny. It's very funny. Don't get me wrong.
It's funny that you say that you didn't want to be famous because you're obviously famous and internet famous, which I think is even more famous than regular famous. Your boys are at an age now where I'm sure they're like aware of it all, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they are. However, they're 14 and 11. I'm really, really full on with my boys about social media. They don't have it. They don't play games. They have nothing. I'm like, absolutely not. You're not allowed to. And it's been tough. It's been really tough. But I think now it's kind of worked out because, algorithm, love it or hate it, it used to be that some of my kids' friends would be like, oh, I just saw photos of your mom online or something. And I was like, how do you feel about that? But now, because the algorithm, those kids don't get fed my stuff, obviously. So it's not really a thing. They know what I do. They know I'm funny, and
Right.
they fly business class, so they know that we're doing well.
Right. They like that part of
They
it.
really do. Like, they now ask the time, like, are we flying business? I'm like, stop asking that. Stop asking that.
You can't blame them for being smart.
No,
Like,
I
it is
know.
better.
I
It is
do have
nice.
a thing though that when they are older, so when both my boys are in high school, so like 13 and 16, they're down the back. They're down the back of the plane while I'm up the front. They
Hard to go
know
that way. I'm just saying it's hard to go for business back that way, but
I know. But they can pay for it when they're older. But yeah.
no, it's great. I wish you luck with that. I don't think I was so successful. I had that plan too, but I wasn't successful.
Oh, really?
Started making their own money because when I was thinking about it, when I knew I was going to talk to you, like when I was doing things like Playboy or things that might have, my kids weren't even born yet. I mean, now because of Pinterest and, Instagram, old things pop up, but I wasn't navigating kind of doing stuff that was possibly, like shaving Katie Lane for Vanity Fair. I wasn't doing that and navigating having like teenagers. So if they're not as immersed in that world, maybe they're just getting kind of like snippets of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I go away to work a lot. So it's interesting, isn't it? Because Instagram is the highlight reel. So people see what's on Instagram. They're like, oh, that's all she does. But most of what, we all do is off that app and offline. And it's doing, stage shows or doing TV shows or campaigns or whatever. So that's a lot of the stuff that they see. And I think they see the work in it as well. It's not just all like, oh, there's a random photo of mum. They're like, well, that's what she does. She kind of pokes fun at an industry. Like they're excellent kids. They have an understanding of it. The other night we were watching something and I was on TV and my oldest son, Lou, went, when did you do that? And I was like, remember I went to Sydney last week for 3 days to shoot that thing. And he was like, oh, no. Sure.
Right.
It's that thing where he's like, I just think you're either in front of me or in the other room. Like they don't really think, oh, mum's now heading to LA to do so. They know that I'm not there or I am there, but they don't really put two and two together, which I quite like. I quite like that they are at an age where they're like, we've got our own shit going on. You do your thing, we'll do our thing. So I think that helps.
The perfect teenagers being totally self-absorbed and in their own lives and just like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I need to ride somewhere. As long as that's provided, like they're not really that interested in what you're doing, which is exactly right. But of all the things that you do, because you do so much, like, and have done, like when was that like holy shit, like I made it, aha, like, wait, this is actually happening to me. Like, did you have, or probably several, like in my career, I've had several,
Yeah.
but
What was the first one for you?
my first Vogue cover, my first American Vogue cover,
Yeah.
seeing it like in the newsstand, and it was like, wow, because that's the pinnacle. It's at least then, like back in the fashion, like
Absolutely.
American Vogue. It was like if you're good enough for American Vogue, you're good enough for anybody. And I remember I went to a newsstand to buy it, and I was so excited, and I bought three, and I like took them up to the newsstand, and then I wanted the lady to like recognize me,
Right.
and she didn't. Just like, that'll be $9, please, or whatever it was. And it was such like a big moment for me, but it was also a very humbling moment. And it's like life doesn't change. You're still you still deal with like life.
Yeah. It keeps ticking over and it just becomes work, really. Then it's like another kind of job that you do. I think the moment for me is still to this day is the Tom Ford collaboration, making out with Tom Ford.
Yeah,
I'd
I
say
mean,
collaboration, but I just like saying making out with Tom Ford. That was one of the definitely to this day one of the most fulfilling creative experiences of my entire life.
just so like oozing like
Oh,
sensuality and
Tom
sexuality.
Ford.
I know. He's
And
like, okay.
he's like, I think we should make out. I went, great. And he went, do you want context? I said, I don't care. Film it or don't. Let's do it. I didn't care. But the whole day was incredible because it was at his show in New York. And we filmed, like he said, I had a makeshift little studio out the back for us to film in. And then, but we filmed all day doing other like fun behind the scenes stuff. And then I did the rehearsal and like walking like a model and all, like it was
Right.
just, and then hearing him say things about me that he didn't know I could hear. And it was
Oh,
just, oh my God, the most validating thing in my entire life. Like he was talking to Tom Hanks about me because that's a sentence. And
right.
about, comedy genius. She's like, she knows that you always just keep a camera on her. She knows exactly how to play. And it was just amazing. And I remember my friend that was with me at the time, he burst into tears after it, or well, during it actually. He said, I always knew you had it in you, but I have just seen you absolutely step into your power. And I was
Mm,
like, and then I remember going back to the hotel after it and just crying in the shower because I was like, I've just nailed everything. It was crazy. Yeah, still to this day, because he's here, right? And then when we're working
no, he's
together, he
an
makes
icon.
me feel like you're there with him, and it was, yeah, that was massive. Also, my first cover was a pretty big deal. It was for InStyle.
I think I remember. Did you do Laura? I
Oh
mean,
no, I did what? Yeah, Laura in the InStyle in America did. Jamila and I
okay.
did the cover. Did you remember that? We did
Yeah.
the Yoko Ono, John Lennon one.
Yeah, that's funny.
That was great. That was a really cool idea.
I think one of the things, first of all, one of the things that I think is really that people like, you actually have a really good body, and people don't know that. Like
Cindy
you,
Crawford?
I'm,
What are you talking
I
about?
remember meeting you, and I'm like, wait, she actually, you do the thing like you intentionally like don't like the whole thing about models is we like are always sucking it in and
Right.
knowing how to do it in the right way. And you do exactly the opposite. And I was like, wow, there must be like total freedom in that in a way. But like what gave you the confidence to do that?
I,
Because most women try to hide their flaws and you actually like bring that to the forefront.
like you're saying with models, you got to suck it in and you got to find your angles. And the intention is to look a certain way.
Right.
For me, the intention is the joke.
Right.
So how I look at the end of that is a byproduct of what of what I'm going for. Now, don't get
Right.
me wrong. Sometimes when I film things and I watch it back, I'm like, oh, no, 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 we're going to redo that.
You're
That's
like,
not.
I just went too far.
Yeah, that's not what I was hoping for. No. Yeah, I don't know. I just think because it's never really been like my looks have never really been my currency. It's always been, my sense of humor and all of that. And even when I walk out on stage, I've been because so many people film it, before I go out on stage, like I'm side stage and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm doing my stretches, my vocal warm up and everything. And just as they call my name, welcome to the stage, I'm like, cool, let's get your posture going. You're about to go out in front of thousands of people. The second I set foot on stage, my posture's gone. I'm like, and I'm straight into entertain, have fun, not about how I look. It's just
Right.
always been like that, which is tricky in the industry we're in because we see ourselves all the time. It'd be fine if I did that and I worked in a bank because I wouldn't see it on TV or online. But when I then watch it back sometimes, yeah, I think, oh shit, that's not what I'd hoped for. But the flip side to that is I did a post the other day. I was in my underwear, of course, on a table, of course. I mean, why not?
Well, I think I saw that one.
Yeah, just dancing around the table like an idiot. And I said to my husband, as I was cutting it together and I went, babe, do you think that people are probably going to look at this one and there's going to be quite a lot of comments where people say, you look too good, Celeste? And my husband went, no.
You're like, thanks, babe.
Oh, okay. And also I'll show you the photos. The mood board of the shoot that we did. I sent it to him and I felt pretty amazing. And he wrote back and went, you look really cool. Like, cool? Cool's not what I'm after. I'm after you look exactly like Cindy. She needs to look out for her job, like all of that. He also understands it as well. It's like, I know what your intention is, and it's not to be the most beautiful woman in the world. It's to be the funniest. So that helps.
Right.
And you are the funniest, Celeste. When we shot this cover story, obviously Celeste was warm, funny, hilarious, creative, but she's just so authentic. She's the real deal. Up next, Cindy starts getting into more of the magic of those hilarious Celeste model videos, that iconic Versace runway. They also talk about getting the confidence to try new things. Yes, even Cindy Crawford sometimes needs a bit of a push to try new things. And amazingly, they get hilariously frustrated on anti-aging products. So you're not alone there. We'll be back soon. This episode's brought to you by F5 Collective, intelligent capital designed by women for women. Now, I've been keeping an eye on what they're doing, and honestly, it is game-changing. They're building a whole new way for women to access capital and grow brands, redefining business. F5 fund and mentor women-owned brands that are bold, innovative, and ready to scale. Find out more about the women rewriting the next chapter of business.
I think what's cool about that is, I mean, women that you meet on the street must, I mean, I don't think that's what you set out to do, but you help women feel good in like real bodies. And, I mean, it's not even body positivity, I guess, but it's just taking the piss out of, first of all, the post that you choose to do your thing to. Some of them I'm like, like the yoga, like the weird girls that are like doing naked yoga or whatever.
Yeah, with their dogs or something. Yes.
You just realize like how silly and to what extent people are going to get eyes on them. But having women, like, I'm sure you get women all the time coming up to you and just saying like, thank you for like showing a real woman's body, right? And
Absolutely.
not being afraid to be like, I have a real body.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that all the time. And that's, 10 years I've been doing this for free on Instagram. And I kind of go, oh, aren't people over it yet? Like this 43-year-old woman throwing a body around. And then I get that all the time. People all the time. Like, oh my God, it just made me laugh. It made me not hate myself, not hate my arms. When I see you flap your arms around, it made me not hate my arms for 30 seconds. And I really appreciate that. And that's awesome. I love that because that's what it's all about for me is the women that get kicked out of things like, and I'm, I guess, at an age now and where I don't know if you find this, and as you get older as women, you're like, we have to just keep reinventing ourselves or we just get fucking put out to pasture. And I like to lean into that a lot. I like to lean into that as much as I can for those women, for the majority of women that feel kind of forgotten about and are like, oh, well, I don't look amazing in a bikini, so I just don't wear. People say to me a lot, I haven't worn a bikini in 20 years. And then I saw your post and I did. I went to a beach. It was a private beach. No one was there. And I put a bikini on and I felt really good. It just makes me burst into tears.
Yeah,
That sort of
wow.
stuff.
I also feel like if you're a bikini person, like I feel weird in a or one piece. I never wore one pieces. Like I'm
Right.
just a bikini girl.
There
So
you go.
I'm probably gonna be 80 with like, my little Sharpay belly like folding over my bikini, but I don't like the way a one piece feels.
Well, I
But
think
do you
the
have
world would be furious if you started wearing one pieces on behalf of the people. You stay in
I
your
don't I don't know. I feel like you can't win because, like, for me, like on my social media, I'll get like some people like, wow, she still looks great. And other people like, she's getting older. I'm like, yeah, guys, guess what? Even I haven't figured that one out.
yeah.
But do you get pushback? Like, because then there are like super glamorous pictures of you too, where you look like like we all can clean up good, right? Especially, the magic of great hair, makeup, styling, photographers.
Lighting, lighting,
Yeah, do your
lighting,
fans
lighting.
ever are they ever like, "Wait, what? Which Celeste are you?"
Sometimes I get that, but I have an excellent, excellent following. My girls are the best. So
Um,
the media try and play that up a lot, but I liken it to, I remember when I was younger, my mum, when we had wooden floors and we'd hear my mum clip clop in heels, and that means, oh, mum and dad are going somewhere. And my
right.
mum would always just look so beautiful when they were
Mhm.
going out. But then, day to day, you just see her as mum,
Right.
beautiful, but just like mum being lovely mum, doing lovely mum things. But then she would get dressed up. And I remember the
Yeah.
heels, exactly how the heels sounded on the floor. And I was like, oh, she's going somewhere. And that's how I feel about it. I feel as though my audience are like, well, that's what she's usually like. And oh, mum's going out when I get all dressed up or I'm doing a photo shoot. I think people, it's the relatability thing too, which is what, people have with me, where they're like, yeah, she's just gotten all dressed up and doing a photo shoot and that's exciting. There are people who hate it and that's fine. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
okay
and
with
I
that.
think the thing is like when you're a little girl and you play dress up, it's fun. No
Right.
one's like, "Oh, I need to dress up like my little neighbor's girl." Like there is something fun about playing dress up. And I think that we forget that as grown women. Like sometimes it's fun to try out a different hairstyle or a new lipstick shade or a different style. And we should be allowed to play.
And change, be like, I'm actually going to be this person now, and I'm going to lean into this. Do you find that have like over the years you've done, so many different things, obviously starting out as, greatest model in the world, but then moving into businesses and all that sort of stuff. Do you find that that was tricky to do to kind of navigate through?
I probably, well, one thing, I was traumatized when I was 17 when a hairdresser chopped off my ponytail without asking, and I had like a very short hair that I did not ask for. So I feel like in a weird way, I didn't play as much. I mean, I played a lot at work because, I'm just like a piece of clay and the hair and makeup do whatever they want for the most part. But in my personal life, I feel like I kind of figured out my comfort zone and I stayed there. But I'm envious of, like, for instance, my daughter who she'll dye her hair blonde or cut it off or turn it pink or try different makeup. And first of all, she's exposed to so much more. I mean, I'm like from a small town in the Midwest. So, like,
Right.
that was all new to me. And my daughter grew up around it. And she just has a confidence to try different things. And even sometimes, like, even if you don't want to say I'm going to be this now, but it's like I just want to try this for one night. Like
Yeah.
I think that that is what's fun about the fashion industry. And I think somehow it became like keeping up with the Joneses as opposed to, no, we're just like decorating ourselves, we're
Yeah.
expressing ourselves, and that should be fun.
Has Kaya got pink hair?
Not currently, no, but she did, like, during COVID. She was just like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I was like, wow, I just didn't have that confidence, I guess. But she'll play like in a way that I didn't. She'll color it. She'll put extensions in. She'll take extensions out. Like I'm always like, oh, I want less maintenance, not more.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Let's peel it back. Let's peel it
yeah,
back.
I
Absolutely.
think especially like I tell all the young women, I'm like, don't color your hair until you have to, because once you start coloring your hair, it becomes a chore. It's not a fun thing, in my opinion. I don't
No,
like
it's
sitting
maintenance. No, I agree. It's maintenance.
hands and not the fun kind.
No, not the fun kind.
What about your makeup line? Was that probably one of the last things you ever thought you would do? Like, how did that?
Yeah, well, funnily, not really. I've always loved makeup, and
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I got really sick of making everybody else rich. I was like, there's got to be something here. What's
Businesswoman.
what's going on here? I started Bowie Beauty because I saw there was a real gap in the market for excellent, affordable, uncomplicated makeup, especially now when, makeup is, my God, it's a multi-bajillion dollar industry. But I was just quite overwhelmed by it. And I'm someone who loves makeup. I always have. I have a face for makeup. And I did a makeup course when I was younger. I've always loved it. And then even me, who loves makeup, would see these things online now. It's just so rife, where I was like, I have no fucking idea how that line, like, I just was quite intimidated by it all. And again, it's for my audience. It's for my ladies over the 35 and over, 45 and over, who kind of get left out of those conversations. And I realized that everything in the beauty space that was targeted at my audience was like anti-aging cream or anti-aging serum, or like,
No.
stop the aging. You need to stop if you want to be
You
loved.
need to stop aging or stop aging. Just,
Yeah, exactly.
it's
Just
true, but
pretend that
that's
you're
the
not doing
search
it.
word. But you know that that's what people search for. It's so hard because anti-aging isn't a thing. Like
No.
it's a nice pipe dream. I always talk about skin maintenance. Like
Uh-huh.
that's probably the best we can do, right? Is
I agree.
maintain what we have, use sunscreen, protect during the day, restore at night and replenish. But like I hate, and so many products overpromise and underdeliver. And I think that, you respect. Do your fans, do you have a name for them, like little monsters or something like
No, but I
Falda?
should.
I know. I'm like, we have to have names. Name for Celeste fans.
But no,
Barbettes.
barbarians, my friend once said. I was like, oh, let's workshop that. I'm not sure.
Okay, we're gonna workshop it. But like, same with like, my fans, I respect too much to want to sell them something that I myself don't believe in or feel good about. And I do think like, I mean, I'll be 60 in February, and I think I don't want to be 20.
No, no.
I, I'm not 30, so why should I look 30?
Yeah.
I want to look great for my age. That's what I
I'm
want.
exactly the same. I want to look fresh and good for my age, but I don't need to look 16. We just did a campaign for Bowie. I don't know if I was online. I don't know if you saw it. It's a very I guess sweet but unfair photo of me at school when I was 13. Poor little Celeste. And we were just talking about it in the office, like, about, this anti-aging stuff, and everyone wants to look younger. And I pulled up that photo and I said, not everyone wants to look younger. I don't want to look like this. I don't want to. So we did the campaign where we put these posters all over the streets of Sydney. I should find the photo.
Oh,
All
it's
over
funny.
the streets of Sydney, and with my little thing, my
Oh,
face. And then I
right.
started, not everyone wants, I look so much better now. Like, I'm so much more comfortable in my skin. I feel like I'm so more beautiful, and I know who I am. I know how my face works. And I'm very happy to be moving through the world with this face, in spite of what, social media and the world tell me I should be doing with it. I'm
Right.
really happy with it, and I get excited. And this is what I wanted to do with this company, and what I wanted to do for my audience, is to just get excited for what's coming. Like, we're so lucky that we've got life ahead of us. Not many people
Right.
have that. So I wanted to really get something out there for those girls, for my audience. And the whole thing is, it's the best version of you. It's where you are now, not, I got to put that on, so I need to look like someone else. Just the best version of you to get you through your days feeling amazing.
Yeah, I have a skincare line called Meaningful Beauty, and I
Yeah,
talk about the way that it's like that the only reason skincare even matters is the confidence that it gives us as women. I always say it's like a great pair of jeans, or when you have like a good blowout or whatever,
yeah,
you just like have a little more spring in your step. So it's like
absolutely.
skincare in itself or makeup in itself doesn't matter. It's just a tool one of many tools that we have to kind of live our best life. One is doing work that we love, right? And one
Yeah,
is like meaningful relationships and all that other stuff. And I think it's gotten so complicated for women. Like if you go on any of those tutorials, like on YouTube or something, and it's like you need like a pair of scissors to go like,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I want to get out the door in 5 minutes. Tell me how to do
absolutely.
it.
Who has 75 minutes to watch a tutorial about
Well,
how to
people must have during COVID or something. And
I
then,
think well, I think that's exactly what it is. And
right,
to their credit, it's also fantastic because there's a massive audience out there who's like, I know I do. I want to know every bit of how that
yes,
works. But there's also a gap in the market who don't. Who
right,
like that seems nice. There's no way in hell I'm going to look at that ever. I
no,
just need to know what mascara to wear that isn't going to run down my face when I get
right.
a hot flush. Do you know what I mean? So I like
No,
to
my husband hates makeup and like he would prefer I not wear. Like if I come home from work, the first thing I do if I have makeup on is walk right upstairs and take it off. And even my son, when he was little, he would be like,
yeah,
and I would think I looked fabulous. I'd been at a shoot all day. I'd seen
yeah.
the pictures. I was like this total glamour puss, and I would come home and I would like he's afraid of the way I looked.
Because it's so
So
full on those shoots. I do that too. If I have a photo shoot, I'll be like, oh, actually, maybe I'll go out for dinner. Maybe I'll just meet Arpy out for dinner. And then we get out and he's like, wow, that isn't translating into the real world. Your face is a lot. I'm like, got this
I
big
guess we're
head.
lucky that we're with men that like us the way, you know,
Exactly.
we are, as opposed to like,
It's,
a
yeah.
full face.
Opposed to, you see the
Um,
girls, some of those women online that I don't know if I don't know if it's satire. I think some of it's real, where they set an alarm for 4 a.m. to wake up, to go into the bathroom and get ready before their husbands wake up, and they come in and lie back down in bed next to them. And
I
I've got,
hope that's a spoof.
but that's not us, luckily.
Now, we both know what these amazing women are juggling on and off screen. Celeste is touring nonstop. She's running a beauty brand. Cindy has a gazillion projects on the go. They are quite extraordinary. And I love how their husbands like to see them just the way they are. I feel like men always say that, but I don't think they really understand what a natural look really looks like. Up next, Cindy has got a great reveal about how she mums in traffic. Yes, even Cindy Crawford mums in traffic. I don't know about you, but I spend so much time in the car and I do a lot in my car. We also talk about that elusive word balance, which I have a love-hate relationship with, and what it looks like for them. We'll be back soon. This episode is brought to you by F5 Collective, intelligent capital designed by women for women. Now, I've been keeping an eye on what they're doing, and honestly, it is game-changing. They're building a whole new way for women to access capital and grow brands, redefining business. F5 fund and mentor women-owned brands that are bold, innovative, and ready to scale. Find out more about the women rewriting the next chapter of business.
So, okay, you have a lot on your plate. You're touring, parenting, of course, running a business. How do you define balance? And how do you achieve it? And how do you know when you're out of it?
I am not amazing with balance. This is something that I'm working on. I am getting better at it. I just finished my European tour. We were there for 6 weeks. The boys come with me on that one because we're in Australia. We're so far away. So we all go together on that. And that was the most balance I've felt in a long time with where I'm at, because the boys were there, my husband was there, and my oldest stepdaughter, who's 25, she came as well. So she was like the nanny for the boys. With touring, it's really tricky because the boys don't really want to come and hang out in Ohio. They're like not really
No.
interested in the Hilton in Wichita. I do struggle a little bit with that because I love to work. And I think because I didn't get success kind of with what I'm doing until later in my life, I'm
Mhm.
like, well, I got a lot to do. I want to keep running at it. But having a very, very supportive husband who's just like, this is so exciting. And it's a conversation he and I had very early on in our relationship, very early on. I was like, I've got big dreams. I've got a big life that I want to live. I want to be an actor. I want to entertain. And my purpose in life is to chase that. And he was like, I want to have a family with you and I want to raise our family and I want us all to, yeah, like it was so lucky. And I
Wow.
think that absolutely helps because I guess it's the mum guilt, right? Where you go, all right, well, I'm going to go to America for 6 weeks and we're all going to go together. Or maybe you should just come for 3 weeks because then that'll be boring. And Arpy's like, just go to work. Like it's work. Go and do work and then come
Yeah.
back. And then we will all go to Japan for a family holiday or something. He's
Right.
very good at kind of compartmentalizing it for me. Otherwise, I try and just smush it all and then
Yeah.
it
And
gets
then it all suffers. I wonder if men have that same dilemma. Because I always feel like, especially growing up, I was born in 1966. So growing up in the 70s where it's like she could bring home the bacon and fry it up in a pan and never let her guy know, forget he's a man or whatever. It was like this pressure to do everything perfectly. And I really try to debunk that for young women and say, you can have everything. Yes. Not at the same time.
not all at once.
That idea of like, we're keeping all these plates in the air. And sometimes sometimes you miss the school play. Sometimes you have to say no. Every year for the last 10 years, my New Year's resolution is to say no more.
Right. How does
And
that
I think you know what? I have to make the same resolution every year. So I probably get about 2% better every year.
Yeah.
But I do think, I remember when I was pregnant the first time, and my sister said the greatest thing about having kids is you never have to figure out your priorities anymore. Like, your priority. And I think that's true. And I always say, like, I always have something better to be doing, which is spending time with my family. So the bar is high.
Yes.
So for you, like, oh, I'm creating this TV show, or I'm doing this, going on stage with Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
Those are like big
ticket things.
tickets.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
yeah, and then sometimes you have to miss one or two of those too, because a family thing's really important. And I do think mothers definitely struggle with that, because I will say, like, my husband also was very supportive and covered for me if I traveled when my kids were little. But when he traveled, he wasn't saying, oh, and don't forget the pediatrician appointment,
Right.
and project is due Friday. Like, mothers still keep all of that. Even when they're gone,
Yeah.
they're on the same schedule as their kids, and they're thinking of everything. And I just, it's a lot. And by the way, yay, we did it. We're doing
Exactly. We did it. Pink, the singer, said that about mothers. It was a while ago. It was a great interview. She had a big world tour and she takes her kids with her. She had an interview at the end of it and she was like, that, shaved a few months off my life, that tour with kids. And she's like, it was, she's got private planes. She's got like, the best way to do it. She can do it. She's got nannies. But she's like, the kids are still there. And then, their body clock's on a 4 a.m. body clock where they need to get up at 4. Like, they're just all over the place. And then she said, there's a reason why you don't see touring mothers. You don't really see many mothers who are on big world tours. And if you do, like Beyonce's obviously just done it, she won't do that now for 5 years because we can't do it. To be away, I really find that to be away as a woman, as a mother, it hits different than with men, definitely. So then I'd bring my kids with me and they're like, oh God, what?
right. And you're trying to be on stage and be, Celeste.
Yeah.
But you're still mom first and foremost. And I think that's the thing. It's like, that is a very difficult choice. And I think your kids are old enough now where they can hang, and you know that they'll figure it out. But like, when you're with small children, they don't care that mommy had a late night or has an early call or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah. Then have 50 people waiting on set for her. They don't care.
No. And they don't understand.
With kids, my son will be sitting on my husband's lap on the couch and he will get up, walk off him, go down the hallway, go through my bedroom, come into the bathroom where I am and ask me a question. I'm like, your dad was right next to you. Why couldn't you? And even Arpy's like, you could have asked me, but it's that thing with mums. When we're there, and it's even when I'm filming, I quite like it if I film that it's not near home because, you know, you wrap at 7 o'clock, you're at home at 7:30, and then even though Arpy's got everything happening, you still got to lock into mum mode. And you're like, I've got 4 pages of dialogue to learn tomorrow, and I've got a parent. So,
And
yeah.
you've got to be back at work at 7 a.m. and you've
Yeah.
got to be ready for that day too. Yeah, it's definitely, that's one of the things I loved about living in Malibu is I had a long drive, usually home from work, like an hour. And I had that time to transition from like Cindy Crawford on set,
Yeah.
knowing, okay, like let that go, whatever that stress of that day was. And like, okay.
Stress.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Getting it.
Yeah.
Take up off and what are we going to do? Like,
Decompressing in traffic. That's classic mumming right there.
I know that is like what multitasking. But fortunately, to Malibu, yes, there can be traffic, but at least you're looking at the ocean. So
The ocean. Oh, beautiful.
it was somewhat relaxing. So tell me about the photo shoot that you did.
Yeah, they asked me to do it because it's the 30th birthday, and we just did iconic fashion moments. So we did the JLo green dress.
Oh wow, okay.
I know when they were like, here's the undies that she wears. And I was like, we're going to have to do some stitching because that's not going to happen. Remember when Bella Hadid did the white paint dress? They painted.
Oh yeah, on the runway.
We did that. We did our version of it because I realized that she just covers her boobs like this, right? And then she slowly moves her hands across as they spray, and then it's done. When I do this and move my hand across, my boob drops down, and I was like, "This is." You don't
want like the dress with the boob down here.
White section under because but it ended up looking beautiful. We did what was another one? Oh, the Tom Ford making out. We recreated that with my husband. He came did it. Carrie Bradshaw on the runway. Remember when Heidi Klum steps over her? And then that iconic moment with you and the girls for when was that? 90.
It was like 91.
91, the Versace Fall 91 show. Can you tell me about that? What memories do you have about that?
Well, the whole build up to that was there'd been a British Vogue cover with me, Christy, Linda, Naomi, and Tatiana that Peter Lindbergh shot. And it was like, it was kind of like a deconstruction. Like we barely had makeup on, kind of like no hair. And that cover made a big impact. And apparently George Michael saw that cover and said, I want those the 5 women for my new video, which was kind of revolutionary at the time. He was not going to be in the video for Freedom. And, it was his kind of like, that whole album was his like coming out. I mean, really like, this is who I am, And obviously that was amazing. David Fincher directed it. And it was like, one of those instant kind of iconic music videos. And so Versace, and they were so smart. Like they were really, I think, the first designers that really understood the power of the supermodel. And they had us come out for the finale of the show to that song.
I've got goosebumps. I've got goosebumps with this story.
The only one who wasn't there was Tatiana because she didn't really do shows. But the thing that was amazing about that moment is because oftentimes you have big moments in your life and you don't really realize like how big they were until you look back. And you've been in enough fashion people to know how it can be a very jaded crowd, like they've seen it all. And even if something is amazing, they don't maybe get overly excited about it. But there was something like, it was one of those moments where everyone knew it was a moment. So like the song started playing and I think I just saw this on Instagram, like the uncut. I think Linda walks up first and then Christy and then maybe Naomi and then me. And then I went back to the back and then all 4 of us walked out together, lip syncing to the song. And it was just one of those moments where you're like, wow, because it was like all these worlds colliding, like fashion, music, culture, and it was just like a big mashup. And whoever was sitting in the front row, whether it was Andre Leon Talley or Polly Mellon or wherever, they were just like, every single person there realized, like, wait, this is a moment.
Massive. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's I think the word iconic and icon gets thrown around a lot, but that is the epitome of it. That was so iconic. And the timing as well with the song, like the song coming out, then the film clip, well, the cover first of Vogue with all of you, and then the song, and then the film clip, and then the show. It was so clever. I find those things when they work, there's no luck or anything. That was just so clever to make that such a moment. Then to have you all come down together and to
Right.
be lip syncing to the song, it's just like, how does this moment get any better? I was so
And there
excited.
was a joyfulness to it. When by the time we all came out together, we were just having fun, and
Absolutely.
like really authentic fun. And I mean, you look at fashion shows now, and I say to my daughter, I'm like, did I tell you just like to look miserable? Like, they don't want any personality coming from the model. Fortunately, that was not the case when we were models, but that specific finale, I felt like it was just it was very celebratory of everything, the song, the clothes, the girls.
The girls, yeah,
Uh,
your personalities came out. The fun of it all came
yeah,
out. It's so true
yeah.
about how model spaces are now. I remember saying that to Tom Ford, and he said, okay, so I'm just going to get you to walk down here. And I was like, yeah, I can walk down here. And he goes, all right, so now what I want with your face is just to be a bit kind of stir. And I said, you just want me to kind of look hungry but grateful? And he was like, he folded over laughing. He was like, yes. I went, I'm going to give you my hungry but grateful face because that's exactly what it looks like. These girls who are starving, but they're happy to be walking in the show. But yeah,
But some of them I feel like bored and bored and vacant. Like, to
yeah,
me, that's like, it's like, and even our generation, you could have a walk. I mean, I wasn't probably known for that, but there were different models that had like specific walks or specific gait, and we had to do the little twirls and stuff. There's
yeah.
none of that now. They just walk down and they walk back. And like, we had to learn how to take off a jacket while we were walking and throw it over our shoulder, in a way. It's just so different now. And I jumped back in when my daughter started doing shows because I was watching, I'd go and watch her do shows. And look, it was exciting for her because she was, it was the first time for her. But for me, I thought it's more about the clothes. And I understand the reason the designers don't want the models showing up with like these amazing personalities is it takes away from the clothes.
Right.
They just want people to look at the clothes. That's
Look
what
at
they
the
want.
clothes. Would you think though that putting personality to the clothes would help sell them more? Like, I'd rather buy something that you're wearing and you're putting over your shoulder. This is obviously our age, though,
I
isn't it?
mean,
Putting over your shoulder than someone who just walks down who looks bored and terrified that they're going to fall over.
I think so, yes. But, I think there was a moment where, and it was, during my tenure, that some designers didn't like that the models were getting more attention than
Right.
the designers. Because I think my daughter did one show where she had like a sassy walk, this Alexander Wang show, and it was amazing. I'm like, okay, the girl can walk. But then when she did like another show, they're like, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's okay. I mean, and she gives them what they want. But I think, like, we used to make, if I saw you sitting in the front row, I'd be like, hey, I'd give you a
Yeah.
little look or whatever.
Yeah.
No, they're like
Yeah. Get
down
it
the
done.
runway and
On,
not.
off.
If I were the director of the show, it would be different. I would say, bring it. Because I
Yeah.
think even if it's silly, like, I would hire you to do my show and see, like, you could be
Oh my
doing
God,
all
are
the
you casting me in your next show?
Yes, I am.
I am available. I am available.
That would be amazing,
That
actually,
would be
because
amazing.
I think that whole thing could like use a little shake up and take the piss
Yeah.
out of it.
Okay, we'll have to get into that. Let's do that.
Okay.
You're the best, Cindy. You're always so kind to me and generous with your time. I really appreciate it.
No, I'm happy to do it. You make me laugh, and I admire just, yeah, like your authenticity. And I think it's generous showing up the way you do in the world for other women.
Oh,
So keep
lovely.
doing it.
I
Yes.
will. Hey, I think I'm coming to the States in a couple of months, so I'll have to find you.
Yeah.
And
let me know.
have a cup of tea / margarita. I won't make you drink warm tequila in a tiny podcast studio again. I
Oh,
promise.
what is
I
with
won't.
the Australians and not enough ice?
Thank you so much. This has been an
You're
absolute
welcome.
treat. It's so nice to see you.
Bye. Take care.
Thanks, darling. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Cindy and Celeste in combo. I am so obsessed with them both. They are two women I would love to sit down with and have a tea or a margarita, not a warm one, and just soak up their energy. We really hope you enjoyed that episode. We'd love to hear who you'd love to see on the show. We live for your feedback, so make sure you pop into the show notes below this episode and follow this pod so you're first in line with our next episode. Thank you so much for listening and sharing this special little moment with us and Cindy and Celeste. We can't wait to see you for the next episode. This pod was recorded on Gadigal land. We pay our respects to their elders, both past and present. This episode is brought to you by F5 Collective, intelligent capital designed by women for women. F5 curate and fund extraordinary women-owned brands. This is where capital meets commerce and a new chapter for women begins.